Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at X-Nova's Tusk. X-Nova on Dota 2 Pro Tracker has an 80% win rate on Treant, Naga, and Tusk. This guy currently, apparently, is the melee support king. I mean, he's doing it all on every single hero. So yeah, what is good about Tusk right now? I'm not going to lie guys, I don't think this hero is exactly the best pop hero. I think it requires a lot of mechanical skill, but I do think it is one of the best heroes in Dota right now, mainly because of what it pairs with. It's really good with Mirana carry, Lina carry, Troll carry, Gyrocopter carry. Yeah, mainly the big meta ones, which in my mind, the best ones are Gyro, Mirana, Lina. I think there's a few others that I'm missing. It's really good with Drow. But yeah, basically this hero is really good. If you don't know what Drinking Buddies is, it's the main thing that Tusks play around. Now, it's actually worse than Tag Team in the lane, but basically it gives whoever you tether to damage and 25% movement speed. Really, to me, the crazy number is 25% movement speed for 6 seconds, and then 95 damage is obviously really good on a 15-second cooldown, so really low cooldown. Also, what's super cool about it is if you click on an ally and they're in this radius, you can choose to tether to them, right? So you can actually pull them to you, which can get them out of bad situations or allow you to close the gap for snowball, right? So you can imagine how much application this has throughout the game. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. So in the lane, what are you trying to do? Well, the main advantage of Tusk is his innate. What's really kind of broken about this hero is if you skill your E at level 1, in a melee range, you have a 30 attack speed slow. 30. So basically, it's impossible to trade with Tusk early on if he manages to close the gap, and you can see that with the Rubik here. This Rubik cannot fight back, and so you want to play the tree line, close the gap, obviously avoiding all auto attacks if possible, and then disengage when they've managed to get away from you. So yeah, he's just kind of rinse repeating that, and range heroes really just cannot trade with you. I don't know why this Rubik continues to do this, where he's sort of running through the Tusk. That was not a great Drinking Buddies. And yeah, I mean, you can kind of see this, it's really not the most powerful laning stage spell. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the lane because really it's just about closing the gap to get autos in. And then at level 2, you can find a snowball for a kill or an ice shards for a kill, but the E is just kind of bad. It often pulls you away from who you're trying to kill in the laning stage. So yeah, there's nothing too special here. Okay, and quickly before we move on through the replay, I just want to show you guys the 2 ways you can use Drinking Buddies. If you don't all cast it, when you click on your ally, you will pull each other towards each other. So this is what you want to do. You want to turn it off if you're trying to save your ally. However, if you want to save yourself, or you don't want to pull your ally out of position, what you do is you turn it on and then you slide to them, right? So if you're trying to snowball save, you want to turn it off. If you're just trying to slide to someone, maybe you're trying to close the gap for a kill, or you don't want to mess up their positioning, right? If you don't want to mess up their positioning, you want to turn it on, right? Let's say your guy's chasing, and then you can connect to them, right? To make it easier to click ice shards. You can have either on to save with snowball, right? That doesn't really matter. Either setting is going to allow you to save. And it's just really nice. Throughout the game, you don't need a Blink Dagger, and that is allowing players to buy really useful items like Solar Crest, because previously, if you didn't have Blink, you couldn't really snowball save. Now, I mean, it's super easy. So for early laning items, a couple things, you want to spam sentries. What's really good about a lot of melee heroes, and definitely Tusk, is you have incredible base stats. Decent damage, great armor, great movement speed, decent HP pool, and then you have this broken innate. And so you can really easily unblock the small camp, because if the position 4s try to go there to trade with you or unblock it, you can easily fight them back. So buy a lot of sentries. I'm talking at least 3, at least. Generally 2 to block the large and 1 to unblock the small. Some lanes 4 is correct, but buying 1 is never enough. Buying 2 is frequently not enough if your opponents know what they're doing. Okay, so when you're going for kills and you hit level 2, you want to turn the Drinking Buddies off so that you do not pull yourself away from the kill and you pull your ally towards the kill. So he turns it off here when going for the Rubik. He hits level 2 first, they got some denies, and then because it's off, he doesn't pull himself away from the Rubik, or at least too far, and he pulls the troll towards the Rubik. And now they both hit for a bonus 25 with 25% movement speed. He's running, before he gets blood grenaded, he's running 380. While blood grenaded, he was 340 for a moment there, which is unbelievable. And so, yeah, the level 2 timing on this hero is definitely something. It's quite good, and it's worse than Tag Team in the lane in my opinion, but damn, it's still really strong. So from there, you're going to want to spam the small camp. As I mentioned, it's really easy to fight the majority of position 4s, and so you kind of just rinse repeat. You look for a kill if someone's out of position, If they're not, you play for the small camp. Also, a quick tip when going for kills as Tusk, do not immediately max range throw shards. This is something I see a lot of average players do, where like they're gonna go on this timber and they're gonna chuck a shards from here to here. Never do that. Just walk up to them. I know it sounds basic, but the amount of people, and that's really cool, he turns it on, look how far he slides. He gives this guy, he's giving the troll 45 damage, pulls up, dude, it's so goofy, I don't know. And then he saves the shard to late shard. Now he completely missed this one. It was actually, I have no idea why you would ever throw the shards there, considering it's on the tree line, but you know, whatever. They end up getting the kill. He skills Snowball to level 4, which is pretty standard, and he ends up getting the kill. Now, a recent buff to Tusk that was pretty cool is they made it where the stun duration now increases by 0.2 seconds per ally. So in the early game, if you snowball like 2 allies, you get 0.4 seconds extra of stun, which is kind of a lot. It's really nice, actually. You also do bonus damage per ally, which some people forget. So the more people you put in the snowball, the better. Just make sure you're not bringing them into any AoE abilities. So for items, I love his items. He's got a lot of mana regen because you have 3 active abilities on the strength hero. So he went wand first into windlace, then raindrops, now boots. Of course, you're also going to be buying as many sentries as you need. You're going to be buying smokes. You're going to buy blood grenades. How is that a kill? Oh my gosh. Another recent buff to Tusk that made the hero way better is his buff to his 10 talent. They made it where instead of being a 0.5 second buff to Walrus Punch stun duration, it's 0.75. So they kind of gave this hero randomly the ability to have like really good stuns. To be fair, the other 10 talent is incredible as well. So let's quickly talk talents. If your team lacks stuns or they need you to be the initiator, then I would recommend at 10 taking the stun duration. If your team has a lot of stuns, then the Drinking Buddy's bonus damage is nice. At level 15, if you're farming a lot, you want to one-shot creep waves. Max nukes plus the snowball damage one-shots waves, but generally you just take health. At level 20, this kind of depends how the game is going. Obviously, if for some reason you manage to scale, which I don't even recommend trying to do, you can take Walrus Punch crit, but generally take Ice Shards cooldown. And at 25, you take Snowball cooldown. Once again, unless you have some really wacky items, you're just going to take the ability cooldowns. Now at this point as a support, you're naturally going to pair together with any hero that abuses your right clicks. He has the really cool pairing of Position 4 Mirana. The Solar Flare plus Drinking Buddies combo is crazy. Bonus attack speed, bonus damage, right? 2 instances of bonus damage. Like, how can 2 sups kill Timber with right clicks? You haven't seen that till today, or at least I haven't. They right clicked a Timber saw to death with 2 sups. Then he buys Tranquils, which to me makes a lot of sense. You want to stay very active on the map. You're going to be keeping your mana up through a neutral item, clarities, wand, and raindrops. Then for his other items, he buys a bracer, which I love, fluffy hat, because it's going to turn into Pavis, and all of a sudden, he's got 1400 HP. And once again, look at this execution. This guy's got it down. He's good. So generally, I would say, unless you're trying to save people, you want to keep it on, so you can do the slide. He's sliding. I don't know why he didn't put his allies in the snowball there. It might have been good. Maybe it's a positioning thing, but like, it's definitely nice in the early game, because that extra 0.4 seconds, if he pulls 2 people in, does kind of matter. Now, into the mid game, there's 2 major plays. Number 1, you can play as a hard initiator, where you're going to snowball on the first person you see after clicking Drinking Buddies on an ally. Or what you can do is you can sit behind your core and try to save them. I just want to quickly go back in this clip here. You're going to notice that first of all, he can go for this kill on this Rubik, easy peasy, snowball in a punch after clicking the Drinking Buddies on the troll. Of course, once again, if you're going for kills, unless your ally is behind you, you should be using this version of Drinking Buddies, the active. If they're behind you, you turn it off and pull each other together. Then the other thing that you can do, which is really easy now, and the reason why, in my opinion, Tusk is a way better hero, is you can also play as a save. Old Tusk would need a blink almost 100% of the time to conveniently save. So for instance, this game, if someone gets netted by Naga and they go for a kill mid, he can swing over, put them in the snowball, and keep them alive. In some games, it's going to be really broken. For instance, if you're against something like an Axe, playing the defensive version of Tusk where you keep Drinking Buddies on or off, it actually doesn't really matter. It's actually better to have it off, so you pull your guy towards you. You can just save from call the entire game with no blink. And for your first item, it's a very easy choice in Solar Crest. Why? Well, when you give an ally 95 damage and movement speed, you want to give them attack speed. And so giving 70 attack speed and 95 damage is a good way to let them kill people. Upcoming here is just a nice usage of the Drinking Buddies that I want to show off. If you want to close the gap, you don't actually have to lead with Snowball anymore. It's in fact better to lead with the punch, because right here, right, he wants to go on the timber, chain stun him so that Troll can finish a job, and he also obviously just wants to give Troll 95 damage. And so yeah, goes in, punch, and now he still has Snowball. This is great because whoever you're, punching with can now be transported. These immobile carries like Troll, who kind of get stuck, can be transported immediately to the next kill. If you lead with Snowball there, you're kind of just a sitting duck next to your carry. It's going to feel really bad. So this usage of the activated Drinking Buddies into a punch, then followed by a Snowball, is really good. Now, as the game progresses, Tusk is honestly a pretty straightforward hero. The main thing I recommend you do is just click your active items and then be patient. You're not a blink initiator anymore, right? You're not. And so what you want to do is sort of be patient. Just be willing to let your team go in and buff them up. So as we'll see here, the enemy team took a fight in the jungle. I think his usage of Drinking Buddies here probably isn't the best. It was active in the moment, so he did turn it off, which was cool. Then he pulled the DK towards him. It didn't do too much, right? It wasn't too much of a pull. Maybe he considered Snowball saving him, but it wasn't needed. But he pops his drums. Then from there, he should obviously pop Solar on the Troll if the Troll decides to commit to give him that bonus attack speed, which he does. And then, honestly, I don't even know if he had the Snowball on the Timber here, right? The Timber had a BKB. Yeah, he can punch him, but I don't think it was fully necessary, right? He actually could have just waited on the outside to save Troll or follow up when maybe the BKB is ending. Nonetheless, eventually it kind of pays off. The BKB ends, the song ends, punches up the Timber, 95 damage to the Troll, and he can continue to chase. Basically from there on out, continue to watch your active items. Drums and Solar Crest are really low cooldowns, so typically if the fight progresses, you can get 2 of them off. I mean, look, you're a 3k HP hero, you have a health talent, you have a ton of armor, he's got Craggy Coat to buff himself up even more against the Morphling and the Like in this game, and he can continue to just be that chain stun, be that follow-up for whatever right clicker that goes in. And that's your job. If you happen to have more of a ranged right clicker, just go towards them. Never pull them actually towards you unless you're saving them. And finally, for items, make sure you have a bracer. In fact, I recommend in most games having 2 bracers. You want to be tanky. You're going to be going in, you're going to be pulling yourself into the fight. You should be as tanky as possible. So you should have Solar, drums, 2 bracers in the majority of games. The last slot can even be 1, but of course you're a support, so frequently you're going to need that open slot for a smoke or wards, generally wards. His next item ends up being AC, which I think is a bit much. I mean, obviously it's good. He has a lot of right clickers this game. In fact, 5 of them are right clickers if you include him. So I get it, but I will say the cheaper item that kind of does a similar thing is Vlad's, right? Continuing to buff up your team and hit earlier timings. The other item you can buy, or just general items you can buy, is Yules to kite the enemy, Nullifier if the enemy has a ton of like anti-physical damage items, which counter you, or things like Force Staff, Glimmer. You can even still buy a Blink. There's a lot of options. Any of the normal support items are fine. This hero is super versatile. All right, and to end off the video, a couple of things I want to talk about, and let's look at a team fight. Number 1, don't be afraid of right clickers who get on top of you unless they're BKB'd. This 60 attack speed slow is actually insane at all points in the game. Heroes like Riki are completely countered by Tusk in this really bizarre way, where some minute 12 Riki just has minus 60 attack speed, because it scales with your E, which you max out first. So these melee heroes like Slark and Riki kind of can't kill Tusk. In this game, multiple times, the Lycan would go on him or on someone near him and wouldn't be able to hit very fast. Like, 60 attack speed is a ton. Genuinely, it's an insane number. So don't be afraid of right clickers. In fact, be aware of the fact that you can walk up to a Riki to save someone else. Like, you can just do that in the early game. You can walk into Smokescreen. But yeah, in this team fight, like it, just kind of on the outside of the fight, clicks the Solar Crest on the Troll again, punches the BKB. One of the nice things about Punch and the level 10 talent, if you take them, is that you have almost a 2-second disable on BKBs as the game progresses, which is really good. Then he eventually saves his DK here, which is nice. Snowball across. I don't know why he waited so long, honestly, but whatever. Gets the DK off the hill. Eventually should click Drinking Buddies, which I think he clicked it on Troll. Obviously, he has a lot of options this game. He has a Brood, a Troll, and a Dragonite. I mean, you could click it on kind of anyone, just whoever's going in. Kites out the Aegis, waits on the outside, chain stun onto the Morphling. Obviously, good decision making here, and they win the fight pretty handedly from there on out. And so yeah, that's going to be all for the Tusk guide. Hopefully you guys learned a lot, a couple things about this hero. I really wanted to talk about it because I think it just fits the meta extremely well, right? There's a lot of good items with right clickers, mainly Solar Crest and drums, that this hero really abuses. And this Drinking Buddies ability just makes using Snowball and Punch throughout the game so much easier. It was kind of a burden that Tusk had to buy Blink in the past. You had to spend all of your early game gold on just the ability to play your hero. Now you get to play your hero and do all of your abilities, cast all your spells, while buying some of the most broken items in the game, like Solar Crest and drums. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. save people with snowball if the enemy team has a lot of stuns, and I'll see you in the next one.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!